in our tefillos over the course of Aseres Yemei Shuva, we make several switches that are clearly done to highlight essential themes. And in our brachos, we change in order to include the concept of HaMelech, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is our king. He's our king the entire year, but we feel that judgment of him being the Melech specifically and more acutely over the period of Aseres Yemei Shuva. And thus we change HaKel HaKadosh to HaMelech HaKadosh, Melech HaMishpat HaMishpat to HaMelech HaMishpat. And on the surface, that seems relatively straightforward. But when you think about it, there's a bit of a problem. Because at the conclusion of the bracha Baruch Aleinu, when we say HaMelech HaMishpat and change it to HaMelech HaMishpat, Melech was already included in the initial formulation of the bracha. So why is it necessary for us to take out the Ohev Tzedakah, for us to remove words, instead of leaving the bracha as it is? HaMelech is already incorporated in that bracha. And it seems to be that the halacha, the way that the Ramah paskins, in fact, we do not repeat Shemona Esrei if we forget HaMelech HaMishpat, because we did include Melech. So if that's true, why do we bother making the change to begin with? What are Chazal? Again, this is from the Gemara Brachas on Daf Yud Beis. What are Chazal trying to highlight? That's a beautiful explanation once in the name of Rav Isaac Sher. And he quotes a concept from the Drasha Saran. And the Drasha Saran talks about the different forms of judgment that we have in Klal Yisrael. So we have the judgment of a Beis Din, we have the judgment of a Sanhedrin. And when we have a court system, the court system's job is to apply the laws that we have. The laws are on the book, and they go and they look at whatever happened, and they figure out how does this apply in this particular circumstance. And their task is simply to figure out how does it apply within the code, within the law code that we already have on the books. That's the job of a Sanhedrin. But then there's also a Mishpat HaMelech. And the Mishpat HaMelech is a little bit different, because the Melech as the king has the right to include all sorts of other factors. It almost is reminiscent of the fact that we call Hashem not just Malkeinu, but also Avinu. There are other aspects. There's an element of Rachamim. There's an element of mercy. Well, why did the person fall in that situation? What exactly is going on? Those are part of uniquely of the Mishpat HaMelech, and the Melech is allowed to do it, and he's actually supposed to do it. And that is what we're trying to highlight in the course of our Shemona Esrei. There's the tzedek. The tzedek is that letter of the law. It's the way that things need to be. And we yearn for a Sanhedrin to return that has the ability to judge us in such a way. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu also is Ohev Tzedakah HaMishpat. He loves when things are done in a just way. But that's not what we need in Aseres Yemei Shuva. Over the course of Aseres Yemei Shuva, we appeal to HaKadosh Baruch Hu as a Melech, not midin, tzedek, not from the aspect of tzedek, but kulo, completely from the aspect of Melech. And that we turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and we say, you are our king. And when we fall short, we throw ourselves in front of you as the subjects of the king, and we ask for your rachamim. So yes, it's important to include that in the Shemona Esrei. That is the theme that Chazal were trying to highlight. Melech is there, both elements are in that bracha, so we're not going to repeat the Shemona Esrei if one forgot it. But it is essential that when we focus on HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the Melech, he's not the ruthless king, Rahman al-Islam, but he's a king of mercy. He is a king that's Avinu Malkeinu. And that is the opportunity that we have. The opportunity that we have as we move through the Aseres Yemei Shuva and prepare for Yom HaKippurim is to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we're different than we were. You don't have to judge us based on how things were when we acted, because now we are not the same anymore. We're willing to change. And that is something that uniquely a Melech is allowed to do. And we're fortunate that we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu as our king. And as we show him, as we make Kabbalahs, as we make decisions as to what we can do differently in the upcoming year, that we can turn to our Melech, we can turn to our king, and tell you to please judge us with a Rachamim of a Melech, with Avinu Malkeinu, and hopefully in that way uniquely get a type of din, a type of judgment, a type of conclusion that is filled with that Rachamim and allows us all to have a Kasiva, a Chasima Tova.